When I was 12 years old, I was busy riding my bike and playing with G.I. Joe. Chris Kruger spends his spare time writing a newspaper column. Here's this week's Generation Texas. Nowadays, it seems every kid has his own computer for playing video games or maybe doing their homework. But when Chris Kruger sits down at the keyboard, he means business.
Did you spell check it before you brought it today?
No, sir.
You didn't?
No, sir.
While some kids his age are delivering the newspaper, 12-year-old Chris Kruger already has a byline in a weekly publication. Chris is a professional columnist for the Nueces County Record-Star. But don't think for a minute that publisher and editor Sam Keach takes it easy on Chris, even if he is his granddaddy.
Well, the column here says 21, so we want to be accurate. You know that, but I'll get after you if we don't get our facts straight, right?
Yes, sir.
So is it 21 or 23?
23. Whenever I started, I didn't know what I was going to get into. My grandfather said something in his first column that I didn't like. So I asked him how I could get him back, and he said, well, if you want, you can start writing your own column. And then 3 days later, I came back and I had a column on his desk, laid it right on there.
To Chris's surprise, Sam kept his word and actually printed that column and the series that followed. And guess what? Chris became the most popular feature in the paper, and circulation jumped 15%.
The girls in accounting will tell you, so well, here's another one said, the only reason I'm renewing my subscription is because Chris Kruger's column's in there.
So with the folks in Robstown behind him, Chris saw a way to turn a joke into a job.
He came in one day, and because he'd gotten some phone calls and some letters, he said, what are you going to pay me? And I said, pay you? He said, yeah. He said, I'm selling subscriptions. We started paying him $5 a week. And he says he's saving that for college or for a car. And he's now up to $10 a week, and I think that's a bargain.
What did Gramps want to do? Chris?
Go hand fishing.
Go hand fishing. Did the boys
For 3 years now, Chris has been juggling the requirements of being an honor student and a full-time journalist. It hasn't been easy. Somehow, though, Chris is finding time for homework, football, band practice, and what he says is priority one, making that newspaper deadline.
Well, I write about anything that happens in my life, like in sports or the letters I got, or just anything that I do in my spare time or school.
A day at the carnival or the experience of being on television are both likely topics for Chris's column, but mostly he writes about the ordinary events in the life of a 12-year-old. In Robstown, it's the first page people turn to in the hometown paper.
I think part of it is because there's so much violence this day and time, so many kids, drive-by shootings, and here is just an average, and that's all Chris is. He's just an average kid, and he's doing something that he likes doing and tells about what goes on in his life, as well as the good things as well as the bad, and I think people can identify with that. Looking pretty good this week, Chris.
Sam Keach hopes to someday pass the paper on to the next generation. It's already been in the family for 100 years, but even if Chris does have newsprint in his blood, there's no pressure to continue the business. When it stops being fun, that'll be Chris's last column, but for now, Chris says he'll keep on writing just as long as folks want to read what he has to say.
Since I talk to them through my column, they talk to me back through their letters, and that's like their column to me.
Thanks for hopping in and traveling with us. Now click the subscribe button for more videos like the one you just saw.